Welcome to the Student Academic Learning Services video on adding and subtracting fractions. This video picks up right where the Introduction to Fractions video ends, so if you have not watched the Introduction to Fractions video, I strongly suggest you watch that video first before continuing on with this video. Let's take a look at this example. Here we have 4 over 5 subtract 1 over 3. I've included our method here in the corner so we can reference it. First step in our method is to check and see whether the denominators are equal. Here we can see we have 5 and 3, so they are not equal. So we're going to have to go to step 2, which is finding the lowest common denominator. In order to do that, we need to list the multiples of both denominators. So the multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, and they just keep going. And the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And they just keep going. So what we're looking for is the lowest common denominator. So we're going to find the lowest common multiple here. Here we see it's 15. So we're going to rewrite these fractions with a denominator of 15. Now, because we changed the denominators, we need to change the numerators as well. In the first fraction, 5 times 3 gave us 15, so we're going to multiply the top by 3 as well. In this fraction, 1/3, we multiplied the bottom by 5 to get 15, so we're going to multiply the top by 5. So 1 times 5 gives us 5. So we're left with 12 over 15, subtract 5 over 15. Moving on to step 3, we're going to add or subtract the numerators. Here we're subtracting, so 12 subtract 5 gives us 7. And we're just going to copy that denominator. Moving on to step 4, figuring out whether or not this is in lowest terms, we're going to list the factors, just like we did in the last video, of both numbers. So the factors of 7 are 1 and 7. And the factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5, and 15. Here we can see they don't have anything in common other than the 1. Dividing by 1 is not going to change our fraction, so we can state that 7 over 15 is in lowest terms. Let's take a look at another example. In this example we have 7/10 plus 11/12. And as always, we have our method located up here. So, step 1 is checking to see whether the denominators are equal. Again, we see 10 on one side and 12 on the other, so they are not equal. So we're going to move on to step 2. Step 2 being finding the lowest common denominator. In order to do that, we need to list the multiples of both denominators. So the multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on. And the multiples of 12 are 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and so on. And we can see that 60 is common in both lists here. So that's going to be our lowest common denominator. So we're going to rewrite these fractions with 60 as our new denominator. And in order to get 60, we had to multiply 10 by 6. So we need to multiply 7 by 6. And likewise, we had to multiply 12 by 5. So we need to multiply 11 by 5. That's going to give us 42 and 55. So we have 42 over 60 plus 55 over 60. We're going to move on to step 3 now, and that's add or subtracting the numerators and copying the denominator. So 42 plus 55 is 97, and we're going to copy the denominator down. Lastly, moving on to step 4, checking in or not to see whether we're lowest terms. We have a rather unique situation here where we have the numerator being greater than the denominator. So in order to get that in terms we like, we're just going to divide 60 into 97, and that goes once, with 37 left over. Okay, so what we're checking for lowest terms now is this 37 over the 60. In order to do that, we're going to list the factors of each, just like we've done in all the other exercises. So the factors of 37 are 1 and 37, and the factors of 60 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. And we can see here in these two lists the only thing that's common is the ones. Dividing by 1 is not going to change our fraction. So we can state that 1 and 37/60ths is in lowest terms, and that's our final answer. That concludes our video on adding and subtracting fractions. If you have any questions regarding the material covered in this video, I strongly encourage you to come to the SALS Center located in room 204 of the Student Services Building and make an appointment with the appropriate Learning Skills Advisor. Thanks for watching.